Imagine a world where the gods tremble in fear, not of titans or monsters, but of a single mortal man. Today, we dive into the heart-pounding story of Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, whose quest for vengeance threatens to tear apart the very fabric of creation. Our tale begins in ancient Sparta, where Kratos stands as a formidable warrior. His strength is unmatched, his dedication to his family unwavering. But little does he know that the god of war, Ares, has his eyes set on him. Why? Because in Kratos, Ares sees a potential that both excites and terrifies him. As Kratos' power grows, so does the unease among the gods of Olympus. They whisper in hushed tones, wondering if this mortal could be more than just another pawn in their divine games. But what could make the mighty Olympians fear a mere mortal? The answer lies in a fateful encounter that's about to unfold. Kratos stands on the precipice of a decision that will change his life forever. What will happen when he comes face to face with Ares? The stage is set for a tragedy that will shake the foundations of Mount Olympus itself. The fateful encounter between Kratos and Ares unfolds in a way no one could have predicted. As Kratos faces an overwhelming enemy force, he calls out to Ares, pledging his life in exchange for victory. The god of war, seeing an opportunity to create the perfect warrior, accepts the bargain. But Ares' plan is far more sinister than Kratos could have imagined. In a cruel twist of fate, the god of war manipulates Kratos into attacking a village, blinding him with bloodlust. As Kratos tears through the settlement, he's unaware of the horrifying truth. This is the village where his wife and daughter have sought refuge. The scene shifts between Kratos' perspective and Ares's. We see Kratos, lost in a frenzy of violence, cutting down everyone in his path. Meanwhile, Ares watches from Olympus, a satisfied smirk playing on his lips. The god of war's plan is coming to fruition, molding Kratos into the weapon of destruction he desires. As Kratos reaches the temple at the heart of the village, the haze of battle begins to lift. He sees two final victims cowering before him. In a moment of terrible clarity, Kratos realizes the truth. His wife and daughter lie dead at his feet, slain by his own hand. The aftermath is a study in contrasts. Kratos falls to his knees, his anguished cries echoing through the burning village. His grief is raw, palpable, a father's nightmare made real. But on Olympus, the gods react with cold indifference. They see Kratos' tragedy as just another mortal drama, unworthy of their concern. This dismissal of Kratos' pain plants the seeds of his future conflict with the gods. As he cradles the bodies of his loved ones, something breaks within him. The warrior who once fought for honor now has only one purpose: vengeance. We witness the birth of the ghost of Sparta. The ashes of Kratos' slain family cling to his skin, turning it a pale, ghostly white. This physical transformation mirrors the change in his soul. Gone is the proud Spartan warrior, replaced by a being consumed by rage and guilt. Kratos' vow of vengeance resonates across the mortal realm and beyond. He swears to destroy Ares and any god who stands in his way. The intensity of his oath is so powerful that even on Olympus, the gods begin to take notice. It's at this moment that the Olympians realize their grave miscalculation. What they dismissed as a mortal tragedy has created something far more dangerous. Kratos is no longer just a skilled warrior. He's become a force of nature, driven by an unquenchable thirst for revenge. The gods, who once viewed Kratos as a useful pawn, now see him as a potential threat. They begin to whisper among themselves, debating how to handle this unforeseen complication. Some argue for immediately striking Kratos down, while others counsel caution, wary of creating a martyr. As the gods bicker, Kratos begins his brutal campaign against Olympus. His first target is clear: Ares, the architect of his suffering. But Kratos' rage isn't limited to the god of war. In his mind, all the gods are complicit in his tragedy, having stood by and done nothing. The stage is set for an epic conflict that will reshape the world of gods and mortals. Kratos, once a defender of Olympus, has become its greatest threat, and the gods, accustomed to manipulating mortals for their amusement, find themselves in an unfamiliar position, fighting for their very survival. Kratos' rampage against the gods begins, and Olympus trembles. The once proud warrior, now consumed by rage and grief, unleashes his fury upon the divine realm. His weapons of choice? The iconic blades of chaos, chained to his arms, as a constant reminder of his servitude to Ares. These blades, forged in the depths of Hades, become extensions of Kratos' wrath, tearing through flesh and stone alike. As Kratos carves a path of destruction across Greece, the gods watch in horror. Their once loyal servant has become their greatest threat. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, pleads with Zeus to intervene, but the king of the gods hesitates. He underestimates the raw power of Kratos' vengeance. The ghost of Sparta's first target is Ares himself. Their battle shakes the very foundations of Athens. Buildings crumble, mortals flee in terror, and the sky itself seems to weep at the carnage below. Kratos fights with a ferocity that surprises even the god of war. In the end, Ares falls, and Kratos claims his title. But this victory does little to quell the rage in his heart. With each god that falls to Kratos' blades, the balance of the world tilts further into chaos. Poseidon's defeat causes the seas to rage uncontrollably, flooding coastal cities. The death of Helios plunges the world into darkness. The gods, once seen as untouchable, now scramble to defend themselves against this mortal-turned deity. But as Kratos' power grows, so does the complexity of his actions. We see moments of hesitation, fleeting glimpses of the man he once was. When confronted with Hephaestus' daughter, Pandora, Kratos shows a glimmer of compassion. It's a reminder that beneath the ash-white skin and burning rage, a spark of humanity still flickers. The gods, in their desperation, begin to reveal their own flaws. Zeus, paranoid and fearful, lashes out at both enemies and allies. Hera drowns her sorrows in wine, unable to face the destruction of her family. Even Athena, in her attempts to stop Kratos, makes decisions that blur the line between wisdom and ruthlessness. As Olympus crumbles, we're forced to question, who are the real villains in this tale? The gods, who have manipulated mortals for centuries, or Kratos, whose quest for vengeance threatens to destroy everything? The pivotal moment comes when Kratos confronts Zeus himself. Their battle is more than just a fight between a son and his father. It's a clash that threatens the very fabric of creation. As Kratos' blades clash with Zeus's thunderbolts, the world around them begins to unravel. Mountains crumble, the sky splits open, and the boundary between the mortal world and the underworld starts to blur. It's in this moment of impending doom that the remaining gods realize the true extent of their peril. They're not just fighting for their lives or their power, they're fighting to prevent the complete collapse of reality itself. Athena, always the strategist, proposes a desperate plan. They must find a way to contain Kratos' rage, to channel it before it consumes everything. But how do you stop a force of nature? How do you reason with a man who has lost everything, who has been betrayed by the very gods he once served? The Olympians find themselves in uncharted territory, facing a threat they never imagined possible. Years have passed since Kratos' rampage through Olympus, and we find him in a world far removed from the sun-drenched shores of Greece. The ghost of Sparta now walks the frigid lands of Norse mythology, but he's not alone. By his side is a young boy, Atreus, Kratos' son, and a living reminder of the humanity he once thought lost. This new chapter in Kratos' life presents a stark contrast to his past. The rage-filled godslayer now struggles to control his temper, to be the father his son needs. We see Kratos teaching Atreus to hunt, his gruff voice softening ever so slightly as he guides the boy's hand on the bow. It's a far cry from the Kratos who once tore gods limb from limb, but old habits die hard. In moments of frustration, we glimpse flashes of the old Kratos. His hands clench, his voice rises, and for a split second, we fear the return of the ghost of Sparta. Yet, each time, Kratos reins himself in, visibly wrestling with his inner demons for the sake of his son. Flashbacks punctuate these tender moments. reminding us of the brutal warrior Kratos once was. We see him slaughtering armies, challenging gods, his face twisted in rage. These memories haunt Kratos, driving home the enormity of his struggle to change. Atreus, unaware of his father's bloody past, views Kratos with a mix of awe and frustration. He yearns for his father's approval, not realizing the weight of expectations he carries. Their relationship is complex, fraught with unspoken words and hidden truths. As Kratos and Atreus journey through the Norse wilderness, we see how their bond challenges the gods' perception of the ghost of Sparta. The Norse pantheon, having heard tales of Kratos' rampage through Olympus, view him as an unstoppable force of destruction. They prepare for battle, expecting to face a mindless brute consumed by rage. What they find instead is a more nuanced figure. Kratos is still dangerous, yes, but he's also a father trying to do right by his son. We witness moments where Kratos chooses restraint over violence, wisdom over brute force. It's a transformation that confounds the gods and forces them to reassess their strategy. One particularly poignant scene shows Kratos comforting Atreus after the boy's first kill. As Atreus grapples with the weight of taking a life, Kratos struggles to find the right words. It's a moment that echoes with the ghosts of Kratos' past, highlighting how far he's come and how far he still has to go. This evolving relationship between Kratos and Atreus becomes the heart of their journey. The journey is about Kratos teaching his son how to be a god, and his son teaching Kratos how to be human again. It's a beautiful encapsulation of their dynamic, showcasing the growth both father and son undergo. Kratos' fear of losing Atreus drives many of his actions throughout their adventure. This vulnerability, so at odds with the unstoppable warrior we once knew, adds layers of complexity to his character. We see a Kratos who is more nuanced, showing more emotion in a single interaction with Atreus than he has ever before. As their journey progresses, we begin to see glimmers of hope for Kratos' redemption. His patience grows, his understanding deepens. He begins to open up to Atreus, sharing bits of wisdom gleaned from his long and painful life. It's a slow process, marked by setbacks and moments of frustration, but the change is undeniable. Kratos' journey teaches us the harsh price of revenge. His path of destruction brought him no peace, only more pain. But his story doesn't end there. Through his relationship with Atreus, we see that change is possible, even for someone consumed by rage. Kratos challenges our ideas of hero and villain. Is he a monster for his past actions, or a victim of the gods' manipulation? The line blurs, forcing us to question our judgments. As Kratos grapples with his godhood and fatherhood, we're left wondering, what is the true nature of power and responsibility? The gods abused their power, while Kratos struggled to use his wisely. In the end, Kratos' story is one of tragedy and hope. His words, "It is time to be better," echo the possibility of redemption, no matter how dark our past. As we close this chapter on Kratos' journey, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you see Kratos as a hero seeking redemption, or a cautionary tale of unchecked rage? What lessons do you think we can draw from his struggle between godhood and fatherhood? Share your perspectives in the comments below. If you found this exploration of Kratos' story intriguing, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Epic Oracles. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our deep dives into the myths and legends that continue to shape our world. Thanks for watching, and remember, there's always more to the story than meets the eye.